I'm Alayar Kangarlu. I'm a physicist working on different imaging techniques. A lot of people ask about FMRI and why FMRI should be used in any part of medicine, specifically in psychiatry. I have a few things to say about that. FMRI, as the name implies, really images the function of the brain. Basically, MRI is a technology that uses very strong magnetic fields, and these magnets, MRI machines, are usually a few $1 million, and a big chunk of that money really goes to building very strong magnets. And these magnets can generate a very uniform magnetic field in an area the size of a large watermelon, where inside the scanner they put the patient's head or any other body part that wants to be imaged. And the uniformity of the magnetic field is really the magic of MRI. These magnetic fields are extremely uniform. But human blood actually has iron in it, and whenever blood flows, takes the iron with it there and distorts the magnetic field and affects the MRI signal. That's how fMRI is really generated. So while we are taking image of the brain, let's say patients laying down inside the scanner, and for 10-20 minutes they're being imaged, during that entire time different brain regions get activated. And whenever the brain regions cannot get activated until blood flows there, actually fresh blood, oxygenated hemoglobin, a hemoglobin that has iron as well as oxygen in it. And the oxygen is the reason why hemoglobin actually gets, the iron in the hemoglobin gets neutralized. So oxygenated hemoglobin doesn't distort the blood, but deoxyhemoglobin actually distorts it. So whenever the brain region wants to get activated, deoxyhemoglobin actually gets pushed out. So the source of distortion gets pushed out, and oxyhemoglobin is brought in, and this oxyhemoglobin replacing deoxyhemoglobin with oxyhemoglobin increases the signal because the source of distortion has left the scene. And this is why fMRI is a very powerful way of looking at how different brain regions get activated. And for whatever we want to do during our normal life, our brain constantly gets activated in different brain regions. And for specific tasks, even a simple task of sitting or walking or talking, different brain regions need to work together. So these regions that need to work together to enable us to do something, we call them networks. So we can actually look at these networks and how one network gets deactivated, how another network gets activated. And this pattern of activity between the networks is really a measure of the health of the brain, something we call biomarkers. So we can actually develop a biomarker or a signal for a healthy brain, or a signature for depression, or a signature for any other psychiatric disorders. And that's why fMRI is such a powerful technology in psychiatry, and we predict that actually the psychiatrists of tomorrow cannot do without fMRI and other functional imaging techniques that probably are in the pipeline, and they will be brought to us. So in that sense, Neurotherapeutix is really working at the cutting edge of science to bring the latest development and latest findings in MRI and in physics, for that matter, because a lot of achievements, a lot of discoveries in physics have gone into the technology we use, and we bring all of that and make it available to our patients.
I'm Marta Moreno. I'm a clinical neuroscientist working in the development of new technologies to personalize treatment in neuropsychiatric disorders. Well, through this journey, we have developed algorithms and computational techniques that allow us to reconstruct the networks of the brain of the patients, and this is a patented technology that we are now offering at Neurotherapeutix, so that by using this technology we can look inside the brain, understand the abnormalities in the brain connections, in the brain activities, and we can clear diagnosis from patients. We can actually, even if the patient is not revealing certain symptoms, we can identify them through the imaging. So it's a fascinating technology, and the more work we do with these images, the more we discover within the brain of patients, and the better approaches we develop to personalize treatment. So the magic of the functional MRI is that allow us to see the mind of the patient, and by doing that we can pinpoint specific circuits or areas of the brain that are abnormal and disrupting the overall brain function, and those parts of the brain to repair and restore brain connectivity and activation.